Let's get started. Today we are going to create a lightning animation using Trapcode Mir. Click on New Composition, rename it to Shape 1. Size of this composition would be 3000 by 1688 pixels. Frame per second would be 30 and duration would be 10 seconds. Click OK. Go to Timeline, right click, click New and select Shape Layer. Now open the layer, go to Add and select Path. Now we have to draw a lightning shape. So let's start. Make it up, down, some triangles, something. Anything you want to draw. It should not be perfect. And make it pointy at the end. Like this. Yeah. Same procedure you follow from up. Great. Now go back to Add and select Fill. Go to Fill. Change its color to light blue. Or change its value to 202 5500. Great. Align this shape to the middle like this. Perfect. Now go to project window, duplicate this composition to shape 2. Open shape 2 and go back to this layer. Select it. Make it a bit smaller. Yeah, perfect. Go to transform. Move it left. Move it left. Move it to left bottom corner. Make it a little smaller. Yeah. Down. Yeah, perfect. Duplicate this layer by pressing Ctrl D. Move this layer up, I guess, to the top middle. Change its rotation to 180 degrees. And move it right and up. That's perfect. That's perfect. Yep. Now go back to the project window, select shape 2, press Ctrl D and duplicate it. Open shape 3, select shape layer 2. Change its position to middle, middle. Yeah, move it down. Same with shape layer 1. Move it up and make it bigger. make the both layers bigger. Yeah, move it down and move it right. Select shape layer 1 and press Ctrl D. Again, change its position, move it down, more down. Yeah, that's perfect. Press R and change its rotation to +5. A bit of left. Select shape layer 2, change it to 178. And same with shape layer 1, change it to +5. That's perfect. Great. Now create a new composition. Rename it to Mir, and the size of the composition is 1920 by 1080 pixels. Select all these three shape compositions, drag it to the timeline, and hide its visibility. Now add a new solid layer. Rename it to Mir 1 or A1. I think better would be rename it to Mir A1. Go to Effects Control, right click, select Mirror Effect to this solid layer. Perfect. Make it full. Let's check the mirror effect. Go to geometry and change vertices X to 22. Change vertices Y to oh no, 270. Change size X to 3310 and change size Y to 280. Go to fractal, change amplitude to 250, change frequency to 480. Press Alt button and click stopwatch next to evolution. Write time multiply by 200. Again, click again press Alt button and click stopwatch next to offset X. Write time multiply by 2000. Perfect. Now go to texture. Change the texture layer to shape 3. Perfect. Let's play it once. It looked great. Now go to shader. Change shader to flat. Change blend to normal. Also turn off ambient occlusion. Perfect. Go to visibility. Change value to 5000. Change fox to 4000 and fog end to 5000. Now go to rendering and change multi-sample to 25. Now go to effects and presets and add curves effect to this layer. Change its RGB value, move it up from the left. Yeah, that's perfect. Let play it once again. Look great. Now select Mir A1 layer and duplicate it by pressing Ctrl D. Change its name to Mir B. Now go to geometry. Change position Z to -50. change vertices X to 300, change vertices Y to 322, change size X to 3230, and change size Y to 150. Great. Now go to fractal, change amplitude to 100, change frequency to 300. Now we have to change the script of evolution. Right, time multiplied by 200 plus 500. Same, we have to change the script for offset text. Right, time multiplied by 4000 plus 2000. Now change the complexity to 5. Go to texture, change texture layer to shape 2. Also delete curves effect from the layer. Let's check the layer. Great. Now duplicate Mir B layer by pressing Ctrl D. Now go to geometry and change position Z to 50. Now go to fractal. We have to change the script for offset X. Let's go to offset X and change it to time multiplied by 4000 plus 1000. That's perfect. Again duplicate this layer by pressing Ctrl D. Now rename it to Mir C. Go to geometry. Change position Y to 765. Also change position Z to 0. Great. Now change size Y to 10. Go to fractal. Again we have to change the scripts. Go to evolution and change time multiplied by 200. Go to texture and change texture layer to shape 1. Let's play it once. Again duplicate this layer by pressing Ctrl D. Go to geometry and change position Y to 315. Go back to fractal and change script for evolution. It would be time multiplied by 200 minus 1000. Same with offset X. Change it to time multiplied by 4000 plus 3000. Again Press Ctrl D to duplicate this layer. Go to geometry and change position Y to 540 and position Z to 150. Let's check Mir C layers. 1, 2, 3. Great. Go to fractal again. To evolution and change the script to time multiplied by 200 minus 2000. And for offset X, change the script to time multiplied by 4000 plus 5000. Again, duplicate this layer by pressing Ctrl D and change the position Z to minus 150. Go back again to fractal, to evolution and change the script to time multiplied by 200 minus 4000. And go back to offset text and change its script to time multiplied by 4000 plus 6000. I guess our lightning part is done. Let's check the animation once. It's great. Now we have to put some particles as well as put some adjustment layers and change its color. Let's add a particle layer. Create a new solid and add Trapcode particular effect to this layer. Let's go to emitter. Change particles per second to 8. Change emitter type to box. Now let's change position X to 3372. Also change the direction to directional and decrease the direction speed to 12. Now change Y rotation to minus 90. And we have to increase the velocity as well. So let's change the velocity. Change it to 3190. And in the end, change emitter size XYZ to 200. Great. Now go to particles. Change life per second to 1.1 and life random percentage to 100. Change size to 45 would be great. And also change size random percentage to 100. Now go to size over life and go to presets and select this one. Yes, great. Now go to physics and go to air and also to turbulence field. Change position to 380. Now let's add an adjustment layer. Rename it to RSMB. It's optional. If you have this effect, then it's okay. Otherwise, you can leave it. And add an RSMB Pro effect to this layer. Perfect. Now go to layer and select a new adjustment layer. Rename it to time. Go back to effects and preset and type in time and select posterize time. Changes frame rate to 15. Now add camera layer. Change it zoom to 190.5. Enable depth of field. Uncheck lock to zoom. Click OK. Also add a null layer. Null object. Make this layer 3D and connect this layer with camera layer. Now go to null layer, go to transform, move the timeline to 0 frames and click stopwatch next to X rotation, Y rotation and Z rotation. Move this timeline to the end and change their value to 1 each. Go to camera layer, go to transform and change position Z to -711. Now go to camera options. Change focus distance to 500 and change aperture to 100 pixels. Let's play this animation once. Now create a new composition. Rename this composition to final. Click OK. Now we have to add a background layer. Create a new solid. Rename it to BG. Go to effects and preset and add a gradient, 4 color gradient effect to this layer. Go to 4 color gradient effect, go to 0.1, change its value to 930 by 528. Now change color 1 to 0, 0 and 11. Now go to 0.2, change its value to 960 by 500. Again change the color to 222 by 14 by 13. Now change the color 3 to 0, 0, 12. And lastly change the color to black. Now go to project window and drag Mir comp to the timeline. Go to effects and preset and add fast box blur effect to this layer. Now change the blur radius to 160 and iterations to 1. Now go back again to effects and preset and add curves effect to this layer. Change its RGB value. Move it to the right. That's perfect. Now duplicate this layer by pressing Ctrl D and change the blur radius to 10 and delete curves effect. Great. Again, duplicate this layer by pressing Ctrl D and delete fast box blur effect from this layer. Select the middle layer and duplicate it by pressing Ctrl D. Now change the fast box blur to 350 and change its mode to add. Again, duplicate this layer by pressing Ctrl D and delete fast box blur effect. Now let's add a solid layer. Rename it to particles 1 and add Trapcode particular effect to this layer. Actually, we are creating a particle range to this effect. Go to emitter, change particles per second to 1200. Change emitter type to box. Now change position X to 2740. Change direction to directional. Now change direction speed to 0 and change Y rotation to -90. Also change the velocity to 1500. Change emitter size X to 1500, size Y to 1900 and size Z to 1000. Now go to particles. Change life per second to 5. Now change size to 1.5. Change the mode of this layer from normal to add and select the motion blur effect to this. Duplicate this layer by pressing Ctrl D and rename it to particles 2. Go to emitter, change particles per second to 200. Change position X to 3370. Change direction speed to 12. Also change velocity to 4250. Now change emitter size X to 110, emitter size Y to 120 and emitter size Z to 170. Go to particles. Now change size to 2. Now go to physics and go to turbulence field. Change effect position to 380. Now add a new solid layer. Change the color of the layer to 180 14 by 100. Click OK. Change the mode of this layer from normal to add. Now go to its properties, go to transform and change scale to 150 by 150 and change its opacity to 0. Press Alt button and click stopwatch next to opacity and write wiggle 20 by 20 by 2. Go to Mir composition and select null object and camera layer. Press Ctrl C and paste it in final composition. Now go to layer, new, and add an adjustment layer. Rename it to CC. Go to effects and preset and add curves effect to this layer. Changing its channel. Change RGB, move it up from top and a little from down. Change the red channel, move it down from up a bit down. Yeah, that would be perfect. Now change the green channel, move it little up near RGB, and now change the blue channel, move it up, 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 up. I think that more up. Yeah, the now duplicate the adjustment layer by pressing Ctrl D and delete curves effect from this layer. Go to effects and preset and add shift channels to this layer. Now we have to change the color. First change red to blue and also blue to red. Now again go to effects and preset and add hue saturation effect to this layer. Change master hue to 2 and master saturation to 21. I think we are done for this effect. Let's check the animation once. Great. That is, folks, if you like my tutorial, hit the like button. If you don't like the tutorial, just dislike it. If you have any suggestion, just provide the comments in the comments box.